All right, so Phillip got his new car. Been looking for quite a while, and back and forth between a Mercedes CLA and an E-Class. Well, the problem we found with the CLA, it was really difficult to find one that wasn't torn up. And the quick analysis of that is, after we went through what, 5 or 6 of them, was that probably it's the cheapest Mercedes made, and a lot of the rich kids probably get those for a birthday when they're teenagers and tear the hell out of them. And we kind of shied away from that. So we went through and tried to get an E350, because E350 is a little bit taller, not a little taller, a little bit longer than the CLA, a little more comfortable, had a lot more options. And dug around. Those had a plethora of salvage titles and all kinds of horrible Carfaxes and things like that. And then we found this car, which was locally, this is an E250. And this actually has the 1.9 liter diesel, the Bluetec diesel. So you're probably 38 to 40 miles a gallon, 40 probably being a little optimistic. And you still get the right size car that he was looking for. And working here, he wanted something he could take care of, something he could clean and be proud of, but he didn't really want anything too crazy, because being a 19-year-old, you can't, insurance gets out of hand real quick, right? So this is kind of the happy medium. It was a pretty good chunk of money for him, but his boss pays him pretty good, so he could afford it, right? No problem. And so here it is. We're gonna put it up on the lift. We have not looked at this car. We just brought it home last night. We're gonna put it up. We're gonna check everything on it. It's got 78,000 miles on it. So we're gonna see what all it needs. Okay, so for today, we're just gonna check everything out. We'll go over with you guys. If you're looking to buy a Mercedes or any car, it's kind of gonna be based for any car you buy. So at the dealership, we looked over cosmetically. Look, see, there's been any paint work done there? Hadn't. It's pretty low mileage. It was a 2-owner car. So it had a pretty good start. So we're just gonna check real quick here. We're gonna check the lower control arm. We're just gonna get this guy here in there, if I can get it in there. Kind of a tight fit. It's totally tight. No play there. Check the tie rod. It's kind of hard to get this bar in here. No problem there. CV axle. All good. And this is 4MATIC. So we'll have to check the rears too. We'll check this axle here. That's good. Tie rod is good. That's good. Hard to get in on that bottom one. Everything's really good. The struts are not leaking. Sway bar links. It all seems good. I'll check the link on this side real quick. We're just wiggling stuff to make sure there's no play. That's all good. Let's go on to the back. We'll grab a light. We'll check the rear axles here. Go up and down with them. There's no play on that one. There's no play on that one at all. Then rear control arms. That's all good. The forward and the lower is all fine. The springs still have all the original, the black plastic on them. You probably can't see. Come around the back here, we'll show them. The springs still have all the black plastic coating on from the factory. That all looks good. All this looks good. There's no rust on the car anywhere. That all looks decent. Swivel arm bushings, all the bushings look good. It's all factory paint up underneath there. Diff carrier bearings all look good. This car, as far as we know, is not DPF deleted. If it fails, we might have to look into that. But as of right now, it's good. So there is that. Let's let it down just a little bit. We're going to check all the brakes real quick and make sure that's good. Then we'll go under the hood. So we got the more base wheels on this thing. He tried to try to get the AMG wheels on a car. It's just so difficult to get every single option you want on a used car. And so these aren't bad wheels. They're a little bit smaller with these 18s, 17s. I don't even know. These are 17s. So I think the AMG wheels were 18s or 19s. But anyhow, especially on a diesel, it's very difficult to get that option. This thing's had brakes done once. It looks like they replaced the rotors with drilled rotors, and we're just going to check the pads. Now we can tell right away by looking at the wheel, they did not put ceramic pads on because the wheels will black with brake dust, right? So we can just look in here and see the pads like brand new. You can also take a little mirror. If you can't see it, you go in there and look like this or look like this and look at the pads. The bigger the wheel, the easier that is to do. We'll go over to the back. We'll look at the back ones real quick and just see what the situation with this is. This has the factory disc, and those are like brand new also. And you can see on the wheel how it has brake dust. It's like just dirty. So not the best brake pads by any means, and we see that that's common. It doesn't matter like what car it is. People always cheap out on the brake pads. The trade-off is on these pads they're quiet. If the pads are squealing, they're full ceramic. They squeal, but there's no brake dust. That's your trade-off. Depends on what you want in life, right? On a car like this, when an older person had it, if you put full ceramics on it, they squeal when you hit the brakes. They're probably going to bitch and say something's wrong with it. But that is what it is. So let's let it down all the way. Let's go under the hood and check things out there. We're under the hood. We already looked at this, obviously, at the dealership. The oil dipstick, it still is a dipstick, I know, is right here. It's black. It's diesel. It's always going to be black. Smells like diesel. We call it the greasel. Everything's usually greasy as hell. This one's still new enough where it's not as greasy, and we'll check that real quick. We have planned to change the oil no matter what, so it doesn't really make any difference. But as you can see, when I pulled it out the first time, it was around the full mark. As of right now, it's around the full mark. So there is that. One thing I do want to check, we cannot, because the engine's hot. We know on these Mercedes and BMW that the coolant reservoir, the cap always gets the first thing to go. Has like a little lip on the bottom of the cap. It always breaks off. Unfortunately, the engine's hot, so we can't check that. So there is that. And then on these are actually pretty easy. This one actually has a screw. The oil filter's right up here on top. You just take the cover off. Super easy car to work on. Like I said, hopefully a few things here. Hopefully DPF lasts for a long time. Hopefully the glow plugs aren't a problem. Those aren't that hard to replace on this. It's such an updated engine. And you can also find this engine in a lot of the Sprinter vans. A lot of different, many different Mercedes vehicles use this engine. So it's not a difficult engine to find parts for. They make all kinds of tunes for it, all kinds of things like that for it, which might be something he does in the future, I don't know. But overall, you can see this is a very nice car overall. It's set up a lot on the inside like the G-Wagon, and I guess we'll go on the inside next. Everything's pretty decent. Like we were saying before, tan leather wasn't really first in line for Desire, but that's what it ended up with. Most cars here in the States have tan leather. And you see factory Mercedes, all-weather floor mats. It's got the signature Mercedes dark brown, chocolate brown steering wheel and dash. Most of these cars have that. Some aluminum trim. This has all the the mood lighting, or what the hell do you call it? Accent lighting, I guess. That changes colors and all the doors and everything like that. This does have the lane assist. It does have the adaptive cruise, blind spot assist, I guess you might call it. And all that kind of things. Definitely a lot stacked in this E-Series. In my opinion, for the price these cars are, a lot of these are just shy of 20 or around 20. And you do get a lot of stuff for that price. I don't know what else besides a Kia you would get any close to where of any of that stuff on, and then you're driving a Kia, so there is that. But yeah, definitely a nice setup for sure. Okay, so we have a sponsor for this video. This is ThinkScan. I usually don't do any sponsor stuff anymore, but this one, the company is nice enough to send this to us. This one actually does transmission, ABS. It kind of does everything. And they have a good price on it. This one actually has a full screen. We'll go to the workbench for this. So overall, just a basic scan tool, what we call a glove box scanner. You're not gonna do any coding or anything with this, but that's not really its purpose. It was a little over $100, I believe. And just a real good all-around scanner. You guys seen these BMW scanners before? That was only for this vehicle. This will do everything, any car at all. It's not limited, so you can take it with you wherever you go. If you ever have a half engine power light come on in your German car or your Toyota or your Chevy, you could actually reset it. Anything pops on, you can see what's going on. You can run live data, all that stuff on this. We'll go plug it up here and show you. Okay, so here it is. This one will actually do software updates. So we linked it to our wireless router, and then you have to, there's a step-by-step procedure in the instructions that you go through and update your car. So we have oil, brake, SAS. So it does pretty much everything you're looking for. We're just gonna go through and just scan this car real quick, and you gotta put in everything here. We're gonna go to the Mercedes. And we're just gonna hit automatically search, and it should scan the whole car. Like I said, we're slow because we're almost out of the range of this router. The VIN read, yes. We have health report, system scan, system selection. This car has no codes at all, but let's do a health report. Let's just see. This is a very interesting scanner, actually. Switch on ignition. Okay, it's on. It's going to scan every computer in the whole car. Engine control module has one. Front retractor has a code, but let's see what the deal is. Read fault code. Let's just see if there actually is. Oxygen sensor cylinder 1, bank 1 has malfunction. There's incorrect signal stored. So yeah, we'll have to sort out every little bit on this, but really a cool scanner. We're not gonna spend too much time on it. We had to ThinkScan again. I'll put a link in the description. You guys might buy this off Amazon. I don't remember the price, but it wasn't very much as far as scanners go. This is a little over $100. I don't remember exactly. You could go to Walmart or a local parts store and spend 4 times that on a scanner. It does almost nothing. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. A very simple car. We'll do some oil change videos on this thing coming up. We'll also do what to look for in buying these E-classes. So you guys, if you're interested, you have an idea of what to look for. You're not going into it just blind. But we also made friends with the dealership, and they have a lot of German cars and a lot. We're going to be doing some videos on those cars coming up probably the next couple days, actually. That should give us a huge amount of content. And that's it. Stay tuned. Should be exciting. We'll see you all very soon.